We start at 5:30 with a development on sexual assault lawsuits at a women's-only prison in northeast New Mexico. The state just paid a settlement in one of them as the Springer Correctional Center continues to remain under fire. Spencer Schott has looked into these cases and he's joining us. So we know, Spencer, that this facility plans to ultimately close, and that's still in play tonight. So how much was this latest payout?
Well, Tommy, the state paid out an inmate $50,000 as a settlement. Now, her case was actually a joint lawsuit, and the other inmate listed in this complaint did not settle and is still pursuing her lawsuit against both the correction officers and the management at the Springer Correctional Center. While I wasn't able to get into contact with her lawyer today, I did speak with another attorney representing one of the other 8 sexual assault lawsuits that the state-owned prison is now facing.
I represent a woman who was sexually assaulted by a corrections officer at the Springer facility, but is no longer incarcerated there.
Levi Monagle and his client filed their lawsuit against the state correction department last November.
Our client was an inmate at Springer for a period of about a year. She was on a work detail at Springer, which allowed her to spend a lot of time outside, out of her cell. But it quickly became apparent to her that she was going to be targeted for the corrections for sexual abuse by the corrections officer in charge of her work detail.
Her story is not uncommon. We were able to find multiple other pending lawsuits claiming inmates were harassed, groped, and raped by guards working at the Springer Correctional Center.
Well, I think the prison setting is probably one of the most difficult settings for any victim of sexual violence to report. Not only do we have the normal societal stigmas around being a victim of sexual violence, but in prison there are the additional threats of re-victimization, but also being targeted for snitching or disclosing information, going to the authorities.
Monagle says his client didn't feel like she was able to report her assault until after she was transferred out of Springer, another commonality among these pending lawsuits. As for the woman who was awarded a $50,000 settlement, Monagle says that doesn't make their lawsuit any easier going forward.
A settlement in one case does not dictate the terms of settlement in another. We're at the beginning of our case, relatively, and we anticipate that we have a lot of litigation ahead of us.
We've also reached out to the State Department of Corrections. While they confirmed there are multiple ongoing lawsuits, they said they do not comment on active litigation, and they take allegations of this nature very seriously. We have also previously covered the facility is set to close within the next few years, and officials say it's not because of the allegations and lawsuits, but because the inmate population is decreasing and the buildings are becoming too expensive to maintain. Tommy?
Okay, yeah, thank you for the update, Spencer.